You know, when some of the cold, it smells terrible. Oh,
Yeah. Now
my house stays pretty cool. Close up and keep the kids from leaving, you know. That's a real choice.
Call common meeting order. Stand for the second pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes of the prior council meeting? Not, they will stand approved as written. Everybody get a chance to read through Lexi's notes that she took at that roundhouse meeting?
No. They're in your packet.
I didn't see it, but maybe it's on.
No first, no second, no? What's it called?
It's roundhouse.
Just overlook just this list.
It's just a tiny little list, but every time we take notes,
It's
we have
way
to.
over there.
Yes.
Okay, I found it.
I was just pretty sure.
Then one of them new things coming out, and Jody said that anytime we're at a meeting that we take notes out, we have to have them approved.
That's basically just a schedule of what they're gonna be doing, what the projects they're working on.
Just, it's a little bit of everything. This is, I think this was with, Jason Siler on the stuff they're gonna be doing at the roundhouse.
Found it. Yeah.
Anybody get a chance to read through?
Yeah, you looking for a motion?
Okay, yeah, I entertain a motion to accept these notes.
I make a motion.
A second.
Okay, there's been a motion made and seconded to approve the notes that Lexi took at the roundhouse meeting. All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, committee reports, library.
So we had a board meeting last night, and one of the things we discussed about was House Bill 355. And we were wondering if the library could come up with a list of things for the structure. Like we have the sewer issue, we have the security cameras, they need to be updated. It's existing.
Yeah, I'm thinking that we ought to get everything together we can. I'm not sure, Jody's gonna go over the list that we have and see, you know, how much of the stuff is actually gonna get accepted and what stuff will get turned down.
It says existing
Yeah.
structures, and the city owns the building. So if we could come up with a list and our bids with it.
I'm just not exactly sure how the state is gonna interpret existing problems or existing deals. I imagine, I'm thinking that we're probably gonna be all right, but we're just gonna have to go ahead and get a list and give them to Sarah, and then she can tack it on to Bob's list.
Okay.
Pool committee.
Well, I was down there today and the gazebo's really looking nice. It's definitely heavy duty.
It looks like it'll stay on the wind.
And the pool count's between 50 and 103. So it's being used.
Good.
Other than that, it's running pretty smooth.
Okay, chemicals and all that stuff running smooth now?
Mhm.
Good.
Yeah, they're just waiting for a little bit of chlorine to run out, so. But everything's running good. Everything's like it's supposed to be.
Okay, good deal. Tree board. Did you find any more volunteers?
We had no applications.
Yes, you do. She hasn't brought it back yet.
I haven't had any applications. We have one out, but she hasn't brought it back yet.
Rail trail, we're gonna have to get somebody on that one, get a little closer to what we're doing down there. Last, no, that's not good right now. Okay, then public comment on the, only on the committee reports. Okay, moving on. Updates on decay ordinance complaints. Did you say you got some names?
Yeah, did you guys see the new ones? Did you see them all? In your packet? You guys saw the new ones?
Only out of curiosity, because I don't know every place in town. Are they getting some kind of an address or something on it?
I have the names of who they are on there, but I don't have the specific addresses.
That's across the street from me.
So,
On one of my recognized places, there's a lot of them of the old stuff that I don't know where they're at. If a name, I don't know where they're located.
so Charlie was gonna go talk to Roy, and then this was sent in again this last week. So you need to follow up with them, or,
We're not supposed to be talking to anybody.
okay, so you're not talking to them?
So I do, I thought that's what we voted on the last time, that we just keep doing what we were doing and having conversations.
According to the state, you're not supposed to be doing it.
Well, I'd like to make a motion that all future complaints be signed by the person making a complaint.
Well, the state says not to do it.
We decided and voted as a council
We voted as a
that
council.
we could go and talk to people. The state hasn't said anything. Brent has advised us, but again, it was Brent advising us. And so far, nobody
Right.
I know has gotten themselves in any trouble talking to people.
Well, maybe Brent should answer that question.
Brent's already answered that question, Charlie. And we have done just fine talking to people. We've made more progress talking to people and getting them to voluntarily clean their stuff up than the council has done in many years. And I don't see any reason to stop doing that.
You want to answer that one, Brent?
Brent has already answered that question, Charlie. We've been over this
I don't think
and
Brent's
over it
there.
again. I don't think there's much else to say.
I think
If you don't want to go
he's-
talk to people, I will. There's still some people
I'm not
on
going to
this.
because the state says not to do it.
The state hasn't said anything.
Where does it say that?
Brent, you're muted.
Brent has already said. He's
Huh?
already advised us. We already know what Brent has to say. And we've already said that we can do this
Do it.
as, I intend to do it.
Well, you know how I stand on it.
Yeah,
Right.
I would like to make a motion that all future complaints be signed by the complainer.
I would second that motion.
It's not on the agenda, Johnny, we gotta put that on the agenda for the next one if we want to revisit it again.
Let's put it on for new business
Well,
then.
back to the pictures. I don't know where 2 and 3 is. I was looking at those and I couldn't, and the name has been scratched out.
I don't know the names.
Okay. You know where those are,
So,
Rob?
yes, so this is just below the,
That's on top of the hill.
yes, when you come down from the city shop, that house has been vacant for years.
Right next to the stone building.
The guy
the
that
stone
owns
house.
it lives out of state.
Okay,
Is that a Wyoming?
okay.
It's owned by
Both
the
of those pictures, right?
DEM Ranch or whatever it says on the cadastral.
Okay, so we gotta just,
Yeah, good.
I'm not recognizing that one.
I think they're both together, it's 2 and 3, so it
Oh, is
must
that
be
the
the same
backside?
property.
That's the
Yeah,
backside.
that's the backside, because that's it. We have the garage that's right there.
4, 5, and 6 are that one right by you, Bob, right?
Yes.
This is just the grass. Who was on there to talk to Dane? Johnny Cooney?
That's Danielle Woods'
Does
place.
Dane own that, or is it just
We had that
managed?
conversation with Dane.
Yeah.
And there's no renter? in
That
there?
last complaint that was filed, was it last fall? That's when I spoke to him, and of course, fall came, winter came, and here we are again.
So his brother did come and mow.
Yeah.
And he could with a riding mower once, but it needs it again. And now that tree broke and fell.
Another conversation.
You want me to just follow up with him, Johnny?
Yeah.
Okay. Reference.
Who's gonna take care of the trailer houses down there in the corner?
That was Charlie's, so I guess it'll be Roger. Charlie refuses to do it.
Yeah.
We'll have to drive up there.
You wanna do that one, Roger?
Which, I'm sorry.
That one on the corner down there, they're talking about the campers, Charlie refuses to do anything about.
Yes, I will go about that.
Okay.
That's-
I already talked to Shane, he'll haul it to Paxton's in a couple days, after we get back from vacation.
Okay, really, Optimus Prime's getting moved, huh?
Okay, this is just for, like unstructured building, could hurt somebody.
Now, where's the one you're showing there?
These
No,
are,
no, that's the State Theater, but what's the one in front?
this isn't the State Theater?
That's State Theater.
This one, is it
Yeah.
State Theater?
That's the bullet out.
That's
That's
not-
the bowling alley? Oh. Wow.
So have we figured out if anybody's actually claiming responsibility for the state theater? Or is that
So-
still just getting kicked around?
No, it's actually the bowling alley.
I know, but
That's
So
also
this
an
State
issue.
Theater, Lexi sent a letter, not heard anything from them. I have the date she sent the letter and who she sent it to, but
They did button it up after that letter.
Did they?
Right. Well, that's because the time before, that pallet was not there.
oh, that, okay.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, that pallet showed up just recently. I just noticed that.
I did see,
You've got back windows open in the back, you've got,
Yeah.
sometimes the door's open, sometimes it's closed.
Right, but since the letter got sent out, you could tell there's been some movement. So we don't, between the letter and now, something has
I
happened.
saw Daphne put that
Okay.
Okay.
So she's getting information is what I'm saying, like the letter got to her, so
Cool.
she's aware.
So that owner there,
The bowling alley.
yeah, so this gets back to just being smart about who we talk to and how we talk to them. And that is not a person I want to approach. That is just a walking liability right there. Daphne, so I don't know how to, I don't know how to approach that person. Everyone else on my list, I feel like I have enough of a relationship with them and I will be responsible in my communication. I will not get myself into trouble. But that is a case that I won't touch personally. So that might in my opinion, that would be a good case for enforcement or,
A letter,
I don't
yeah.
know, some other kind of solution.
What letter that Lexi sent, it wasn't sent to Daphne, was it?
It
No.
was sent to the owner, but obviously she got a message from somebody. That's what I'm getting at. Because we found that the place was in somebody else's name out of state, and that's where Lexi sent that letter to.
Oh,
So
okay.
word got back to her. And so she's involved with it still.
It could be coincidence that she put it up there.
I don't know.
It's hard to say.
It's hard to say.
She could be buying it at
But as
escrow.
far as the liability goes, like Roger was saying, choose your words wisely.
Oh, yeah.
And, and it probably should be something in communication in writing or with somebody else.
Guys, I'm confused why these out-of-state owners who never are here and don't keep the places like what's between the Times building and that property is owned.
Julie,
Yeah.
there'll be time for you to comment at the end when we're done. So what about the bowling alley?
That, I thought we discussed that the state owns it because Mrs. Wilcox is deceased or in a nursing home, right?
That's what Steve told me.
Right.
Now,
So where do we go with that? Because if Steve's not willing to do anything,
I have no idea, I don't
should
know.
be able to figure that out with the tax rolls, shouldn't we?
I think on the cadastral and on the tax rolls, it's in Steve's
We
name.
tried cadastral at Steve.
It's Steve.
Right.
It's in his
and
name.
He
Steve
says
says
no.
he has nothing to do with it,
Steve says no.
just like the blue and white house down there on the end.
Somebody's gotta be paying taxes on it.
And it says it goes to Steve, but Steve told the mayor that he has nothing to do with it. So,
Has the taxes been paid?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, a trip to the courthouse would answer this.
It says it on the cadastral, it goes to Steve, so I'm assuming the taxes are paid up.
I'll go up to courthouse tomorrow and find out if everybody's paying the taxes.
This might be another, I mean, if people will just keep kicking it around, then this would be another case for enforcement, I would say.
Correct.
Yeah.
They're not living here,
Yeah.
you know, they're just doing what they can do to get by with it.
So does he own the house in the flat still?
You got me. I had enough of him when I was dealing with the vehicles.
If you look at the,
He still owns this building. There's a dog right there, yeah. So,
Didn't somebody buy that?
no,
his name's
Which
still.
one did Reddings buy?
That's the one across the.
They bought
They
the,
bought two buildings.
no, they bought the old parts house,
Oh, okay.
drugstore.
Okay.
it has Steve, that's irrelevant, never mind.
Because I know the one down in the flats, there's raccoons.
I was hoping Dan would be here tonight, that's one that I've been trying to get a hold of him on.
That
That's-
other
that's
Dewey's?
where- That was Dog's Place, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. That's on my list, I'm gonna move on that. As long as, I don't know, it might be, I don't know, since he's deceased, maybe his stuff, maybe it's gonna be hard to deal with it, I don't know, but I'll talk to
Yeah,
Dan about it.
I don't know if there's anybody still living in that house.
yeah, there's somebody living
There's
there.
somebody there, I talked to him here about a trailer full of garbage here about 8 months ago. And they moved it.
Yeah, there's still somebody living there.
I'm sure Dane would like to see some of that stuff dealt with, so I'll see what I can do. Yeah, see, there's a new vehicle there now.
So,
Red car.
so that one, I had mentioned at a council meeting that
The
I
red
would
car.
help with the forklift, but then I was advised not to do that because she made a comment that she wants to give that car to a relative. If I do any damage to the underside of it, I'm gonna be liable. But since that conversation, the second one has showed up on the water line now.
But is that red car gone?
No, they're
They
both,
gained a pickup.
It's just grown up around it. It's camouflage now.
and both of those are sitting over the top of the water main still.
And that was, Frank and Johnny were gonna help. Was it Frank and Johnny or you and Frank? I don't
It
remember.
was me.
It was Frank and I, and I see the red car, it's way back in there.
It's my board, so,
Frank had already reached out to her,
yeah,
and she told us that we could move it,
okay.
and then,
Are there keys?
no.
No.
We probably need it in writing.
Who's she gonna give it to?
We contacted her to move it so Dwayne could put the new water line in, and she didn't show up, so he just had to use his forklift. But then he put it back where he found it.
You should know.
No, by the flower.
Roger,
Okay,
do you want to follow up on that?
I will give you go, The place is still for sale, right? Is it still for
I
sale?
think the
I
sign's
haven't
gone.
I think the sign is gone.
I think I have her contact in this stuff. And then this one, it's just, I think, weeds.
Maybe that Ford.
That's the one
Ford
across from
belongs
there.
to Roger,
Huh?
and he did
That's
tell me
across
he was
from
gonna
there.
have it moved. And then, I think the property belongs to Mike Hensel, and I think,
Does one half belongs to Mike and one half belongs to Tony?
it's all, if you look at the map, it says it's all belonging to Mike now.
Oh,
But
okay.
then the tax address goes to Martin Hensel now,
Right, since Mike passed away.
yeah. So
Okay, I thought,
that is gonna have to have a letter, whatever it wrote. But I know there's some telephone poles in the way. I know John Lindsay did some mowing over in there, but they couldn't quite get it all because of what was laying there.
So is Roger open to getting that truck out of there?
Yeah, he is.
yeah, I think Steve's just been tied up with
Yeah.
wrestling and stuff with his kids, so.
Okay, so we just need to follow up with that.
Yeah.
I can talk to them.
Isn't that property over there, where we put that, speed sign, that's on Gordon Jones, isn't it?
Right next to that pickup, yes. There, It does go there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so now we got on the decay ordinance. Any public comment on only the decay items?
My only public comment is that I just see you guys working your normal jobs, and there are situations that people don't live here. They don't care what our community looks like, and they don't take care of the property that they own here. And so that's where the form letters, and then a period of time, give them 2 weeks, give them some information at the bottom of people you know that would go and mow or weed whack to get the property in compliance so we don't have a fire hazard, that they could contact. And if they don't get it done within a period of time, then you hire somebody to go do it and you bill them. And this, so many of these places are fire hazards and they're just, I look at, you know, I love Jimmy Crowley, I hunt with him every year, but his uncle's place up there, whew, those weeds are atrocious. You know, Mike's, he doesn't live here, obviously he's gone, but there's just the one with, by the Times. That is an LLC out of, where is that out of? I don't know, I looked on Cadastro. I don't know if it's California or what, but they haven't touched that. But if they own it, they don't maintain it. It's the city's job to force people to keep their property at a place where we don't have a fire hazard, and it's not taking the rest of our properties and making them lose value. So a form letter with those for sure.
That's a good idea, put that in the letter about what they could do to avoid fines. Who they could contact for garden maintenance.
You've got Bailey Chanel, you've got, I don't know, who else?
Todd,
A lot of the hard part about it is it hasn't been enforced ever, because we're not an HOA, we're just an incorporated city. The big thing on it is, if you go after one, you have to go after all, because it's very easy to point the finger. It's only going to take one case to win it for something like that.
But you
So we have to be careful.
You have minimal people that aren't taking care of things. They are people, most of them, that don't live here. Some of them do live here.
There's a family that owns a property on top of the hill. They show up around the 4th of July, they mow the heck out of it, and we never see them again. And it's up there.
They never showed up this year.
Well, they did last year, but you know what I mean.
But it's still
This has been going on for years.
Still fire hazard.
Did they mow part of it? Because I thought we talked about that in the meeting.
They did them all.
This is where just letters and just saying.
We mail them a letter.
Will help.
I guess as a council, we would need to decide what our fines would need to be and what our time period would have to be.
Mr.
It
Mayor,
says it in our ordinance.
The ordinance shows
I would urge the council to look into a community wildfire protection plan. It is a plan that would be contracted to come in and have the city surveyed as a wildland-urban interface that would require mitigation efforts such as mowing and weeding and keeping your property prepared for wildfire. And it may offer you a different roundabout way to approach maintenance of people's properties.
Where's the forms for that?
That is a very lengthy process. I would urge the council to look into it pretty deep before you were to make any decisions. It would include contractors coming in and surveying the city, each individual lots, especially the lots that are on the outside of the city. We are not big enough to be considered an urban interface, so the entire town would fall under wildland urban interface. But it would allow, once it is completed, it's a plan that goes in a binder very similar to the Wheaton County Hazard Mitigation Plan. And it sets forth guidelines that can be followed to prevent the risk of wildfire within your community. And eventually it could go countywide, so that then all communities were covered. But that would offer you possibly another way to look at mitigating the risks.
Is that federal or state?
The plan is, it would be all within the city. DNRC is the leading coordinating agency for the state of Montana, but each city does it themselves or countywide.
Sounds like a lot of money. I mean, a huge amount.
Well, they have trouble surveying
Every
anything.
lot in town.
There's grants available to assist in paying for it, and eventually I would like to work towards getting grants so that we could do one for the entire county, but it's something that would be worth looking into, I think.
And tread lightly on that, I mean, we got the rental house, pulled all those grazing permits. We're gonna have to think about did something like that, we'd have to think about bringing those back or mow it.
And,
Because you can't hay it for what obstacles are down there.
Yeah.
and also most city property lines are off.
That's costly, I think.
I think the city guys can figure out what's a fire hazard and what's not.
Well, it's in the ordinance.
Yeah,
It's pretty simple. What is it, 3 inches, 2 inches?
yeah, but you know, I mean, then there's, you know, trees and ladder fuels and stuff that these guys are gonna, you know, look at more than just the weeds and grass. And structures, how close structures are to trees, and they have a lot of metrics that they're gonna plug into it. But I think common sense would, you know, could show you how fire spreads. I think we can figure out, especially on the west end of town, and places that, you know, we know a threat might come from. I think that would be a pretty good consideration to just take into account, especially for weeds. And also just another way to urge people to take action, and another way we could, you know, hopefully coerce people or even fine them if they don't. Because that's serious. That's not just your yard's ugly, that's dangerous.
Okay, is there any other public comment on the decay item?
One other thing, last time I was here, about 2 meetings ago, I think Susan mentioned just dealing with Main Street and going back to the State Theater and the bowling alley being open. And I know Daphne or whoever it is put that. But that's not stopping. If you go in the back, you can get into the window, 2 windows, I think, and the bowling alley is wide open. I mean, that's just a wreck. The city, to keep from getting nailed by somebody, if they get hurt in that, we just need to plywood or something, just so you show you've taken some steps to keep people or critters out of places like that. And then send a certified mail and letter to these, saying you need to, and bill them for what that costs you to put the plywood to close
If
it
they're not
up.
gonna take care of their building, they sure as hell ain't gonna pay a bill and send it.
I don't think we can legally
You
do
bill
that.
them, and then when they don't pay, you put a lien on it, first lien.
They give it to you, said it done also.
So when it sells, you get your money back.
I don't think we can legally put stuff on people's buildings, can we?
Well, that just seems like to me the city's opening themselves up for a pass.
Yeah.
Cause there's, about the time we send somebody down there, or I send somebody down there to button up the back of that state building.
Well, let me ask you, if somebody walks in there and their kid gets hurt, and you don't abide by your own ordinance, who's getting sued?
That's what we're doing here, is we're trying to enforce it. And we can't really force them to do it. You can't just tie a horse to water and make them drink it.
I've been to the meetings, you're not the enforcers.
I know, but it is us, we're just trying to have a simple conversation, so we don't have to take it to that next step.
I know, but these people don't live here.
Well, that's why we're trying to have these conversations and figure that
I
out.
think you're right, that everything except we can't put a board up ourselves.
Yeah.
But you're right, we need to send them letters and issue fines and impose liens. I mean, that's the process, and as long as we do everything that we can in good faith to get them to do something about it, then we're not liable. But if there's definitely steps that we need to take. Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do, is
Yeah,
take those
and that's
steps.
what we're figuring out right now what we're gonna do next, because obviously some of these people.
It's way easier for somebody like me to go have a conversation with you, Julie, at your house and get you to see that we have an ordinance, blah,
I've
blah,
been
blah.
here,
But if
I understand.
they don't live here,
I
this
get
is,
why you're doing it, but I think you definitely have to have a form letter.
Yes, so we have to take these certain steps because Roger can't just show up and slap a piece of plywood up and all of a sudden it blows down and my kid goes in there and gets hurt. Well, the city should be responsible because they put the plywood up and it didn't stay up. You know, that's where
I get it.
we're
But
taking these steps.
If you don't enforce it, if you don't
And that's what
take the
we're,
steps to enforce it, then you
trying.
will be liable.
and that's what Roger said in the letter.
I'm done with my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie.
Like to go to the sheriff's office and tell them to go down there and button that up, but don't involve the city.
I would say the sheriff's department could probably do it way legally than we
Well, I
can.
think they'd have more of a leg to stand on.
They,
than we
they,
do.
they couldn't do that.
They might be able to.
Safety.
They said they could be our code enforcement.
Well, and that's it, just code enforcement doesn't mean they can go down there and physically do that themselves.
Brent?
Well, he's not even, he's been up there like
Oh,
that.
okay. It's frozen in time.
He's fine over
The
here.
sheriff's department's here to enforce the law. But the other part of it is, if it's on private property.
Yeah, they
They
can't.
can't go on there unless there's something.
Me and Johnny have been in the same,
Yeah.
we've been in the same position.
He's there. I don't know why.
He's moving on this screen.
Is he?
Yeah. I think he's just muted.
It's one of
Is
those
he talking?
catch-22s and they
No.
do it for so long. It takes for.
He's trying.
Well, that's what
He's trying.
we need to step up our actions.
Yeah. We need to go to the next step, the next letter.
Here's your
It's
volume.
a lot.
Your volume's closed.
Not everything.
Go over here and see if the volume's up in here.
What's that button right there? Is that a mute button on that thing?
On this side,
Right there's red now.
There.
There you go.
Oh, it's not muted.
Touch it again. Oh, there you go. Okay.
you and I are both.
So they're working now?
Well, yeah, we just can't hear him. He just can't say anything.
Okay, any other public comment? Okay, moving on.
I think Brent's trying to talk.
Huh?
I think Brent's trying to talk on the computer.
You can't, that screen's frozen.
Well, our TV's on, our laptop's on, our owl's on, I don't know.
Is he muted? Again, I'm gonna go try to make sure if you can hear him when he talks over there.
We're having technical difficulties.
Okay, I'm gonna turn my audio down. Yeah, I was trying to say a couple of things, but I don't think you guys were hearing me.
No, we weren't. The big screen froze up, so all we got is a laptop.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, it sounds like Mayor and Council, the issue was can somebody go on private property to one building? Was that the essence of the discussion?
Yeah, pretty much so.
Yeah, certainly, one thing that I would caution against is doing that. You know, you can certainly observe from the street, take photos, and just so you'll know, I'm working with Roundup right now, and I'm gonna try to get with the league and see if we can develop a process where the smaller communities have access to some type of structural expert who can, just from looking at something from the street where public would be entitled to go, be able to indicate that the building is unsafe and issue a brief report, and then we could enforce unsafe buildings. You know, at the end of the day, it's still ultimately the property owner's responsibility and the lion's share of the liability. But in any event, I just thought I'd pass that on. But certainly entering onto private property would, under that circumstance, just to observe a building that appears to be in such disrepair that it's dangerous to someone, for the council or Bob or somebody like that, probably would not be advisable. I am certainly able to write a brief letter to the property owner too, if you can find out who that is, and basically tell them, look, the building is in such disrepair that it's a danger and you need to take care of it. I don't know if that would motivate the property owner or not, but I'm certainly more than willing to do that.
Okay, we'll get the contact information to you on the state trader.
Okay.
And I believe that we got the contact information around for Steve Olson too on the bowling alley. We'll start with him and then see what he says.
Okay.
Okay. You wanna hang on there or we'll just call you when we need you?
Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm frozen, but I kind of figured something was going on because when I was speaking, it wasn't coming through, so.
I can
Okay.
turn the audio.
Have you got him on the laptop now?
We could, yeah, we can see him just fine. He can hear us. It's his, I don't know what's going on.
Can you hear us
No,
on the
it's-
laptop?
It's the laptop, because when I signed in over there, it worked just fine. I could hear him. I can put his audio on my computer. It was working on mine.
Oh, okay. We're gonna put your audio on another computer. All right, we'll be in touch. Yeah, wait a minute. We'll let Tori get your audio on hers and see if it's loud enough we can hear it. Say something, Brett.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, we can hear you now.
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, why don't I hang up then on my cell if that's all right?
Okay.
And for some reason, it goes bad, and you can call me back myself.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, thanks.
All right, bye.
Okay, you can hear me now, I assume?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I'm just frozen, which is probably a good thing.
Okay, moving on to our next subject, updates on various discussed items, resolution to close all bank accounts and combine them for easier banking. This was hello. This was recommended by our teacher, Jody Campbell, and it's resolution 2024-01. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna close all the outstanding, they're not outstanding accounts, but they're not, we don't have to have them. We can still have their balance and everything in the general fund. We'll know exactly where the money's at, how much is in there and everything else. But we'll just take care of a lot of paperwork, like closing these accounts. So I would entertain a motion to adopt resolution 2024-01.
02 or 01?
I changed it. Sorry, I didn't update your guys's. how it
My
goes.
document had 02.
Yep, I didn't update your packets, we just changed it today.
Oh, this is the one.
I move,
You have the right one.
Okay.
I move to close those accounts into one.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, there's been a motion made and seconded to adopt resolution 2024-01. All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Any public comment on said subject? Does everybody realize why we're doing this? Okay. Okay, new business, street closure, H Spirit USA. This will be on the, it's on here, there you go,
Is that September 1st?
yeah.
That was the date that
September
crossed
1st.
out. I'm trying to get approval before then.
From 5 a.m. to 1 p.m., Main Street from Oasis to Museum Block. Will be the marathon finish line.
I'll make a motion, we close the street.
I second it.
Okay, there's been a motion made and seconded to aid this, or go with the street closure request for the Aid Spirit USA. All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Is there any public comment on said street closure? Okay, moving on. Cody, you're up.
All right. For anyone who doesn't know me in here, I'm Cody Nelson. I'm the emergency manager for Harlowton County as well as the city of Harlowton. A couple months ago when I was here, I talked to council regarding an emergency alert platform that the county invested in, co-op with Golden Valley County. The system is now up and fully functional. We have roughly 50 people between the two counties that have already signed up for it, and alerts are actively being sent out. For those people, I don't know if anyone here has signed up already, but emergency weather alerts are getting sent out, so I'm sure with the fire weather watch that we've had the last few days, we've gotten quite a few texts about it. I would like to talk to City Council regarding specifically your role within this platform. The way this is set up for the county level is if we have an incident that is ongoing that requires an emergency declaration or a disaster declaration from the county commission, there is a group there that I can send the same message out at the exact same time to all three of my commissioners and the clerk and recorder, so that in a disaster, I can get rapid response from elected officials to do the things that we need to do quickly so that we can maintain continuity of government. I have a form here in my hand that I'm going to give to the council. It is a basic sign-up form with the basic information that's needed to create an account for you. If you could fill that out or navigate to the DPS website on the county site, you can sign up there as well. Once you have signed up, I can put you in that group. But basically what that'll be is, if I would use the Graves Fire for an example, at 5 o'clock in the morning, everyone on City Council's phone would have rang, and it would have been either my voice or an automated voice coming through your phone saying if there's an active emergency in the city limits of Harlowton, please respond to whatever location is going to be the operations center where we have elected officials meeting. And then I would either request you to respond there, or I would tell you the details that elected officials need to know. So once this group is set up, you'll basically, if you sign up for other groups, if you want to receive the emergency alerts for weather or whatever it may be, you'll receive those as well. But that'll be your primary function within that system, is receiving those, oh no, we need to do something alerts. I would like to offer to the city that if someone here at the office would like to take the training to be a certified sender on the platform, that can be set up so that you can have access to it if you need to send out a notice for water is shut off or sewer is shut off or something like that. That is a system where you would have access to specific groups to send out a bulletin notification. You wouldn't be able to send out the notifications that ring everybody's phone in the general public. You wouldn't be able to send out the Amber Alert style alerts, but you could at least send it to the constituents who have signed up for it. If that's something that the city would be interested in, I can help coordinate that training. While I have the time, does anybody have anything for the emergency management department that you guys would like to bring up?
Just the street closure. I forgot to tell you about the other one.
You got to.
I did I tell you? Okay, whew, good.
Yep, you're good. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Cody. Okay, moving on. Tina, you're up.
Okay, so currently the library receives county mills, and I don't know, Sarah, you might be able to give the exact percentage. There's a percentage that goes into our 2220, which is our library operating fund, and the other percent goes into a fund number with, it's a 221 account. And the way that 221 account is set up, it is limited to a $5,000 cost to be able to spend any funds out of that. And so it really limits us to making any improvements within the library. And so because it's a taxpayer based county mill that comes in, the library is asking the council to consider a resolution to keep all of that money from the 2221 in the same account, but just have a resolution to change the fund number to a 4,000, which essentially sets us up a library depreciation reserve fund. And there is no limit to it's still spent on repairs and maintenance within the building, but it doesn't limit us to the $5,000 capital improvement amount. And so Johnny and another board member and I met with the commissioners last December, and we asked them if there were any parameters or any specifics on how that county mill was spent within the library, and they said it was to offset the library cost. So moving forward, we would just like to be able to, rather than having that be split, all come to the 2220 to help us with each fiscal year, and then at the end of the fiscal year have any unspent funds transferred into that 4,000 account to be in that library depreciation fund. So because it's taxpayer money, we're just asking a resolution to change that fund number so that those funds are accessible to us.
Okay. We can get that drawn up and then you can proofread and make sure everything.
And I do have, I've been working with Tracy Cook, who is the lead consulting librarian for the state of Montana.
Oh.
And she has sent me an example of some verbiage for Sarah to use, mixed county, city in there. And I have all of the fund number accounts that can be accessed through there.
Okay.
So
Pretty much what you want to do is with the library, what we're doing with City Hall. Consolidate everything in one.
Well, we just want to move what money is in that 2221 into a 4,000 account. And then in the future, rather than the monthly mills that come in that are separated, have them all go to the 2220, so that at the end of the fiscal year, it can, what is unspent can be put in that 4,000 account.
Sounds like a reasonable request.
It'll make paperwork easier too.
It'll make it accessible, it'll make it easier,
That's what we're after, it's easy.
Okay, so, and Sarah has the official minutes from that December meeting already from the commissioners attached to our budget. So,
Okay.
good to go. Awesome, thank you.
Thank you, Tina.
Sounds good. Okay, I'm sure everybody saw the road that one wants to purchase. Looked like a good deal to me. Damn it. Any public comment on what was discussed with the library? gonna take me a while to get used to all this. I may. Okay, moving on. Discussion on a new roller and loan with the credit union to purchase it. The roller itself is 25 grand. We over talked to the credit union and with, there's a couple different, interest rates that we're probably gonna be eligible for, so. As soon as we get, okey dokey from the council to do all the paperwork, then we'll get that all taken care of, so.
As a question, this is part of what, Bob had on his list to go through those funds.
It is, but we're not sure if we're gonna be able to get it with that money, so.
With the House Bill 355?
Yeah,
Okay, that's what I was,
we haven't heard back from,
If those funds do come back in, then the goal is to pay off the loan.
yeah, if we can use it for that, we will, use portions of that money to pay that bill off.
I make a motion, we get a loan and buy it.
So this is something we need now.
like soon, we can't wait for that list to come
Have you
in.
seen the city's roller that we have?
No.
So it catches on fire and it's,
Okay, so it's needed.
yes.
We can't wait for the funds.
Well, the problem is, I looked a lot of places for one. This one's 25,000 with 700 hours. A brand new one is 70,000.
Okay.
And everything else I'm looking at's 40, 50,000.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
You're a good
So
shot.
it's something we need to jump on.
Otherwise, we're gonna lose it.
That would be cool.
I get that. Okay. And if we are ineligible, if this is ineligible with the 355 funds, it's something that we're gonna be able to just pay off without,
In time.
with that, I mean. if-
Yeah, there's not gonna be any problem with it,
Okay,
getting payments and stuff for it, so
okay,
we're good to go there.
okay. Charlie, you made a motion?
I do.
I second it.
Oh, Charlie already did. Okay, there's been a motion made and seconded to go ahead and move forward with the loan at the credit union for the roller. All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Is there any public comment on said subject?
Scrap must be up, because I saw Tim and Julie's, Tim out in Shawmut, the two. So if you got any scrap around the city, it's time to start selling it. It's sounding like,
Well, the school kind of wants this one off the bat.
a burn, one that burns up.
Well,
Better than none.
they run it till it breaks and then we fix it. They run it till it runs out of gas and then we put gas in it. So we figured if the city or if the school's gonna do that, we'll just give it to them and let them have it.
We don't let them use our
And
new
then we
one.
won't
Yeah.
let anybody use
Well,
it.
yeah, so we are gonna keep the old one for that reason. I mean,
Well, we'll just
Yeah.
give it to them if you guys approve that.
okay.
Yeah.
We'll discuss that later.
Okay, moving on to item number 8. Sean.
So we have an ordinance about this. We want to table this till next time and get the ordinance ready.
Oh, okay.
And then Brent's got some stuff too.
Okay. Apparently, we're gonna table the discussion on the lease for the new food hub. We have
Why is,
We have an ordinance on it and Brent wants to get a little bit more prepared for that. But I did give you guys example leases, so
Yeah.
you can think about it and then we can discuss it the next meeting. Just so we're a little more prepared with like the ordinance and have it all correct.
but that's outside of the city limits,
Not, I don't know where it got annexed in.
that property.
Yes.
All the way to the corner? Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that, but Jeff's telling informed me of that.
That industrial park is annexed in now.
Just, is that road there, the area?
Wheatland County, or Wheatland.
Wheeland Avenue.
Okay.
Just the west side.
Yeah.
That was city property to begin with, though, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Industrial park.
But it was not in city.
It was not in city limits.
Correct.
I thought it was, if it were owned by the city, why would it be in city limits?
Well, but for
Maybe I'm
a
wrong.
long time, it was just, somebody donated it with the idea that a business could go on it and be leased. And for years, it wasn't until, what, the rest area came in, I'm assuming?
Yep.
Is that when all, okay, because there was something about that.
Hey, does that mean that the shop down on the south end of that block then would be,
Dumpsters? Yeah.
we need to worry about getting cleaned up too?
At least one that came up in our first.
And I thought we discussed that it wasn't in the city limits.
Right.
That's what
Now
we're
it is.
saying.
And so where was that?
As of what date did it become city limits?
When we did the rest area,
And that was in
Several years ago.
yeah, I can't remember what year.
2010, 2008?
Yep, 10 or 11, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
And where was this?
The Harlow lines go,
Yeah, I understand that.
So the problem was,
When we were
in order,
before,
in order to get water
and sewer,
to Local Creek,
yeah.
they had to
And
annex
do
all of
they,
them.
So all them homes down
'Cause you
there
have-
are in the
you
city
have to
limits?
border- You can't jump for annexation, you have to hop from border to border. So they had to annex all that.
okay, so the properties that are on Hawkeye then are all city limits now?
No,
But what about all the homes down there on Shawmut, the
Those are
rental
still-
storage? That's, but then
That's-
how,
That's,
not Tuckertown.
ask Jeff, I know
They
just
use-
enough to get
They
in
use
trouble.
the highway to connect the 2 points together.
The old highway.
okay, so it goes
And the
from,
new highway.
F
The
Avenue.
highway up on the crosses the viaduct.
So Shank and Travis and all that property up in there is all in the city limits now?
No,
no.
that's on the other side of the street.
So
But
it
then
went
how
on,
did they-
Right.
they linked it on the highway.
How did you get water
It
through
wasn't me,
that
I don't know.
to the rest area is what I'm getting
That's a
at
Jeff
with
question.
just, you see,
Legal wrangling.
yeah.
They linked it actually on the highway.
Because I know that it
Let's
goes
make
across
the deal before our-
over to the other businesses.
I don't think anybody's sure how it happened, but it did.
Okay.
Okay, but we have documentation on that.
Because
Fair
the
enough.
motels in the city limits, the Shaw Shop, or the Rock Shop, Local Creek, Ray's rest area. But that house that's right across the street from Local Creek is not in the city limits. 'Cause that's all. Yeah,
And Willems is not,
And Willems.
and the vet clinic's not.
Okay.
yeah, it,
So all that matters in this case is that the lease is gonna have to look a little different, because it's in city limits, right? That's all we're discussing right now. Correct. It's still, it's still not a hitch, it just has to be a little bit different document.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay, we'll put that on the agenda for the next meeting. Proceed with that. Okay, the COLA report, cost of living raises.
Is there anything sent out on that?
I think we were discussing, or we're gonna discuss 5% across the board for the employees. That seemed fair to everybody?
Sure.
I think the national is 4.5, or 3, I think it's 4.5.
Yeah.
What the national COLA is.
For all city employees?
Yeah. And we will see how that fits into the budget. But we'll go with the 5% for right now. And we'll know more tomorrow afternoon. Of what the
Well,
budget-
this has both been done the 1st of July anyway, wasn't it?
It's never happened, it's always been
You have
put
until
back to
September.
the first and
Yeah,
then make
yeah.
up the difference.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll
they'll
be
get paid,
retroactive.
they'll get back
Because it's
paid.
almost
prorate it back.
impossible to be ready
They
on.
have
They
until September
prorate it
1 to
back to
finalize the
July
budget.
1st.
What's that?
Is it September 1 that the budget is finalized? Has to be finalized?
It's something like that, yeah, I don't know, we're starting it tomorrow, well, doing a lot of work on it tomorrow anyways.
I make a motion, we give the employees 5% COLA.
I second
We're gonna
it.
get the public comment first before we vote on it this time. Maybe I can do this one right. Is there any public comment on the 5% COLA increase? Okay, now we're gonna entertain a motion.
Okay, I make a motion, we give them 5%.
I second it.
Okay, there's been a motion made and seconded to go with the 5% COLA increase for the city employees. This is pending okay from the budget. All in favor? Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Okay, Charlie, you're up.
Well, Darian called me the other day and she was approached about using our shower room for Harlem musical. People go down and take a shower after, or the next day or whatever. And I've been approached by different people. And I think it'd be a good thing for the city to show that we respect people coming. She talked about being open for quite a few hours. We're thinking 2 hours is pretty much like 7 to 10 or something like that. They open at 11.
Oh, okay.
And she said she would go down there. I talked to Kendra. We're gonna work out a deal on her wages to pay her. And they can put a tip jar down there. If someone wants to give them some money, they can give some money to them. But
Sounds good.
What about on our end? We have to pay for that water, the city does,
yeah,
so it's free.
And you're paying to keep.
we got free swim. We get free showers for the swim.
It's paid for, the free swim's paid for, so that covers our cost. But then what about just utilizing our water and running it? On a city level, we have to pay for that, because it's not being charged.
Why not charge them $5?
Yeah.
Huh?
Pay more than that for a beer.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I have no problem if you want to put a price tag on it. I mean,
I mean, a truck stop, what's a truck stop shower cost?
$7.
$10, I guess, $7.
but, I have no problem with,
I think, yeah.
if you want to put
I think it's a-
$5 on it, I mean, that,
I think it's a
something.
great idea, but why not charge $5 for it? They'll pay for the employee for sure. And probably the water, and I don't think anyone would be opposed to that.
Right.
with that,
I don't think anyone would be like, oh, $5, you know, I mean,
no, I don't think so either.
yeah.
No, I just think it would be a good thing for the community. I mean, like you said, $5 is nothing.
Right.
I
You
mean,
could even say suggested donation $5, because everybody pretty much,
but I didn't want to,
yeah.
Right.
I didn't want to
mean,
bring up any money on it, you know.
Yeah,
But on the city level, you know, I mean, that water's being used.
Yeah.
And the city has to pay for that in the end. So if you get 100 people down there,
Yeah, we don't know. It's just that this is
Right.
a.
not that they're
first
swimming,
time-
but they're using our
Yeah.
hot water, you know, it's going down the drain. And then in the end, we have to cover that,
Yeah.
so. I don't-
If you wanna put $5 on it, we can put $5 on it. That way take care of their water or their wages and everything.
And then her wages for the day?
No, she's just gonna charge, for the couple hours she's gonna be there.
So she's just gonna open it up so long, and she'll
Well,
be there.
we're trying to come up with a game plan. She
Not
talked like 5 hours, like 6 to 7. I don't think that,
No, I hear
I
you.
no one's
think,
gonna be up that early.
no,
No,
I
but we
think
should come up with,
7 to 10 or 7 to 11. Well, we wanna get them out of there before the pool opens.
right, but it would be nice if we had somebody there rather than just.
Oh,
leave
yeah,
the
we
door
need
open.
some, I don't want
Yeah.
anybody being down there to
Okay,
watching the place.
right, too much liability.
No, it's a good idea. Who came up with that? Somebody just,
Well, we talked about it a long time ago at Galleys, because at the musical, some kind of shower. When Laura was here, she was working on a grant to get a shower room put in the park. One to use quick quarters and stuff in. But I don't know whatever happened to that, but
okay.
do we need a motion or anything on that, or?
Is there any liability issues in that?
We'll get a hold of, MMIA and double check, but I don't think there will be, because, it'll only be a couple hours to be in the pool, hours will be there right there anyway.
Sure.
As long as they bring their own toiletries.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and no alcohol.
no, I mean, I think it'd be a good thing for the community to show that we're there to help.
Yep.
I could have, after we find, what do you give them a call tomorrow or something like that and find out?
Yeah.
Before we put anything, cause I told Kendra if I found out anything, we'd.
Yeah, let us call MMIA
Yeah.
first thing in the morning.
Yeah, 'cause they might say
Check
no.
with, their liability insurance on it and make sure that we're good there, so.
Alright, sounds good.
Okay.
Is this a public comment part? Who is it that wants to use the shower? I never heard that part.
What's that? Dara, she's the lifeguard down there, or the manager in the pool?
For what?
But
music
for the
project.
ones that use
For the
it,
people standing in the park.
they're all taken
Yeah,
in their
that makes
campers.
sense.
Just that one.
Okay.
Thank you.
It was, yeah, music project.
It's for the music project, people staying overnight.
There's a lot of people.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause
It does bring a lot of
I
people.
think they charge $5 at the gym too, if you go out there and just use the shower.
Okay.
Alright, I'll wait till we find out, then I'll get hold of Kendra.
Okay.
Do we need to motion that?
We'll come up with a,
Motion it.
I don't think we should do more than 3 hours.
7 to 10 should be good.
I don't think so.
They
Cause I
want
think
it-
Paul's gonna, so we don't need a motion, I guess, how would you say that? Cause you're gonna check
Yeah,
the liability?
and as long
So,
as it, as long
Maybe
as
do you make a motion to table it? Is that what you
Well,
do?
we table it then,
But it just kills the motion for now.
Yeah.
It doesn't
But
kill
will
it
it be
forever.
soon enough for
Yeah,
the
But I think
music
that's the,
project?
Yeah,
I
we
think
have
that's
one
the
meeting
appropriate.
before.
We have a
Well,
meeting before
if it,
then? Okay,
pending what the insurance says.
Right, so that's how we do it, right?
Yeah.
yeah, and we do have a meeting, she says.
So we make a motion to table it pending? Is that,
Well, we don't want to table it because we want to get it through so we can put it on, so Kendra can put it on her website.
we can put it on, put it in there, just, the motion was good with, MMIA and liability insurance.
Okay.
okay.
So then no motion.
At the moment?
I thought there'd have to be a motion.
Yeah.
It has to be
Yeah,
motion.
yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta
If
motion.
you vote on it, and all we're doing is, yeah, the prerequisite is,
Yeah.
in fact, whether or not the insurance company says it's okay.
I make the motion, we let them use it for $5 a shower.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion to that. Is there any public comment on said subject? Okay, there's been a motion made and seconded to allow the music festival to use the pool showers during that event. All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, Bob, you're up.
Sewer project's complete, supposed to meet with Chris Hayes next week, Wednesday. Make a list of what they found. Start drawing up plans for the next sewer project.
Okay. And did you, get a chance to watch those movies that Colton took?
No, because I just got them today at 3 o'clock.
Oh. Because apparently there's some bad pipe in some place that they found and we didn't get it replaced.
I did see those 2 videos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's what we want to address, and once we know what our budget is, I might just, it'll be a low enough price that we don't have to go to bid.
Oh, okay.
So if I find that it's in my budget, we might just have them come back and do those spot repairs. If not,
Is it like a block or is it just,
it's an intersection, basically 2 intersections.
okay. Yeah, if you can find out what it is, I mean, we still got money in our ARPA ones. ARPA funding, that's what it's for. We need it. As long as we don't deplete that, you know.
Yeah.
But if it's gonna be less money, then you have to put it up to bid, what's that, 50,000?
Yes.
Okay.
What did he say?
Is that right?
That was the Alice meeting.
Gonna find out what the money or where it's at?
once I know what our sewer budget is.
Okay.
What, the blockage or the break or whatever you looked at on the video, was that from anybody digging in the area prior?
Nobody knows.
But was there a new water line put in?
Contacted both inspectors, they have no record of it.
Of the pipe?
So, in the video, it's, somebody went in there and made a repair, and the rubber hub had slipped.
Okay,
So it's got an offset.
yeah.
But nobody remembers that specific spot. Don't know if a local plumber did it, don't know if one of the.
But they were hooking up to our main line, the existing?
Yes.
And it has nothing to do, like, I was just curious if it had to do with any type of water project, you know, disruption in
Nobody
the
knows.
area.
I called both inspectors for both projects.
But had we put a water line in there recently in that area?
Yes, it's,
Okay.
we put both water lines in there this last.
I'm just thinking for like future, you know, when we get, you know, we really gotta do it. A due diligence, because I remember a few years back up by the courthouse, certain company came down off by the courthouse there and went, mowed right through somebody's
Yeah.
and didn't even know it and didn't even look at it again and filled it in, and then the homeowner bought it
Yep.
and they had issues.
But it's above me, it's.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
engineering firms.
Okay, that's what I was just curious about.
Yep.
Cause I think their inspector needs to be on it a little more, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I mean, not anybody else's fault, but.
So Jeff and Chip have been trimming trees, they're doing an awesome job. It's really down on A Avenue, that's the best I've ever seen. Thank you guys.
Yeah, that bucket reaches up in the air quite a ways. It scared me when I was in
I have a couple items I think we should put on the agenda for next meeting. I was contacted today and asked how much we rent the livestock pens for. Those pens are not the city's. I don't know, I thought the rodeo committee did that, but I want to go visit with Jeff Sell because he was the mayor at the time. But regardless, I think we need to look and see if the county's got insurance on that or if we do. Well, I know we don't. Something's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't know where they come from. I'm just like you, all of a sudden they just popped up, they were there.
Those got put in about like 20 years ago. I was just right around high school.
No.
You mean the
Those
ones
got
on
put
the,
in when Ian was here.
on the,
South Side Rodeo Drive.
it's about 20 some years ago, I bet.
Because I've been here, I've been on my 20th year. Ian was here 10 years. They were put in 2010 or later.
Okay.
But anyhow, we
Yeah.
just need to find out who's got the insurance on them and
Sure.
what we're doing with that. And another thing I think may or may not involve the city because it's private property, but we had a function over the 4th of July on the Graves property, that's private property. If there would have been an injury there, that could have been ugly. I don't know if we contact the owner.
They did, the chamber did.
Did they put insurance on it?
The chamber did. But the owners did not, but they gave the chamber the okay.
There's new owners.
Oh,
That-
the Graves don't own it?
No, the same, yeah, the original,
The guys.
those two, they don't own it anymore.
Somebody local?
Jeff and Sean Eagleton bought.
Oh, okay.
It's
So
locally
then
owned.
we need to get a hold of them and make them aware of the snow removal and the weeds.
Sure.
Snow removal.
Sidewalk.
There's city ordinance if there's 2 inches or more. And that's all I have.
Did we ever get the county to pay for that sidewalk?
No,
Or are they going to?
I'm sure they will. They said they would.
So who do we follow up with that, commissioners?
Probably, and Everett. Everett's the one that told me that they would.
That it?
Yep.
Okay. For treasurer.
Jody has 18 hours left. So her and I are just gonna do it all day tomorrow, budget stuff. But I am asking that she comes back one more time to help me. I didn't get a contract, so I couldn't put it on an agenda or anything. But she wants to know if we can have a quick meeting on Monday. I'll put it, as long as we have 48 hours to the public. You guys will come in and vote for her to come back to train me a little more. I really feel like I could use all the training I could get, honestly. If we could just maybe come in on Monday and have a quick meeting on that, just to vote for her to come back.
For just the 48 hours for a week.
No, she would train me for another month. These 18 hours, we're gonna use those in a day and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not enough time I've never done a budget before. I've never ended a fiscal year. There's a lot of other stuff that I still need training with. As soon as her contract's out, I'm pretty much on my own, so.
I think that's pretty important for that training.
I think it's very important.
It is really important. And, I think we got all the paperwork and everything filled out for the contract, didn't we?
No, we have 18 hours left on our original contract.
Oh, okay.
We have to have a new one,
So we gotta renew it then.
and I have to put out to the public because I didn't have enough time. I didn't even get it today. So I'd have to put out to the public, and then we'll meet, and then if we can meet on Monday and get it signed and get it approved, then she can get here as soon as she can, because she's leaving for Israel, September.
Oh my.
And she'll be gone for a whole month. So like the sooner we meet and get the contract signed and sent back, the sooner we can get her here, and hopefully get her something local to stay in.
Does this have to be like a all hands on deck meeting, or can you just filter through and okay it, or?
We'd need enough to make a meeting, enough people to make a meeting, yeah.
What time are you talking?
I was gonna leave it up to you guys. I know it's Monday, you guys all work, and
Oh, I could probably get up early enough to come. Because I'm babysitting during that time, so I'll be around.
Well, I think she paid for her own wages by coming up here. I think she found enough stuff.
she loves it here.
Huh?
She loves it here.
Can we hire her?
So, do you have
Yeah, I
any
wish.
idea?
Yeah, you can't pay her.
How much it's gonna cost us?
It's probably gonna be about $1,000 a month if we continue to keep going with her.
Another month of it would be $1,000.
Oh,
Any
that's
expenses?
cheap at that.
Gas and meals.
Gas mileage.
But last time she was here, her and I took turns going to lunch and paying for each other. She brings her own dinners. She really, I would just like to put her in an Airbnb so she's comfortable, and
Housing is the hard part for her.
housing is, she had to drive all the way to Big Timber last time. So I would love to just get her somewhere local.
Total cost, what, two grand, 2,500
In total, probably,
for a month?
yeah.
That's
Give
cheap
or
at
take.
that.
How many hours again?
Oh, gosh.
48, did you say?
It's a lot. Well, and then she's just so awesome. Our day would end at 5 and we'd be here till 7. And I said, okay, we need to go. And she'd go, I'm not writing that down. I'm like, oh God, Jody. She's just so good and awesome, and she just really wants to help us.
Someplace in town instead of having to drive to Big Timber every day.
But Jack, it says it in the contract, and I'll send you guys all the contract before Monday.
It's just, I have no problem with the expense. I just want to make sure we have kind of an idea of what the expense is, so that we're ahead of the curve on that. 'Cause
Sure.
I hate to say, okay, it's going to be $1,000.
Right.
It's going to be 10.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I need. Yeah, okay. So that's why I was asking.
That's for when the beer truck has to stop here.
And, I think the training is always good, and the more training that we give the people in the office, particularly with our accounting and everything that needs to go on, I think we're money ahead.
Way.
But that's my own opinion.
Yeah, that's.
Bye, guys.
Bye, thanks for coming.
Yeah, and she's just so knowledgeable. 30 years,
Well, can we do it now?
I don't have the new
Just have the
contract.
And just have the contract signed when it comes in? Does it have to have approval by the board, or is that something we have to wait until the next meeting?
I have to have approval by you guys.
Well,
That's
let's just
why we're having a
approve
meeting
it.
on Monday,
The
right?
question is when? I have 10 o'clock,
to
and
put
I've
it
got
out to the
a
public.
2 o'clock, and I've got a.
I also have
7
to,
o'clock.
I know, but I also have to put it out to the public too for 48 hours. So if we do it, we'd have to meet on Monday, and it's just up to you guys. You guys decide those hours. It would be it'd be a 5-10 minute meeting.
Mornings probably, can everybody make a morning meeting work?
Oh, yeah.
I would like to
believe
do
so.
that, 'cause it goes through
I
our
can even
workday.
come in my pajamas if.
I will remind
Say
everybody.
morning being 8 o'clock.
8:30.
8:30?
Can we do that?
Exercise.
8:30?
What's your man down here?
9 would be good.
9?
You're done now?
I think I'll be okay with that.
9?
We need
Okay.
at least 4, right?
Remind me, okay?
Yeah, I need at least 4 of you guys. Yes, I will remind you.
Text.
Tomorrow, like I said, we're gonna do all the heavy lifting on the budget. So that's all I have.
It seems like you've done a pretty good job of picking up the job quickly. It's a lot, right?
It's a lot.
So after this, do you feel like you're gonna be ready to
Yeah.
fly?
Right now,
There's so much.
there's so much, you guys, all day long. It just comes at you all day. You'll get done answering your emails and you'll go to lunch and you'll come back and you'll have 30 more. So it's a lot, but the best thing about having Jody here is that it's getting done and it's getting done right. When she was here the first time, we would start something and then we would realize that it hadn't been done correctly for a while. So we would have to go back and fix stuff. So she wasn't able to teach me the day-to-day moving money and Black Mountain, stuff like that. We brushed over it, but we didn't get in there. Right now, when she was here, we moved stuff around, fixed bank accounts, fixed negative accounts that didn't need to be, we did a lot while she was here, but it wasn't like day-to-day stuff. Where do I call to get our insurance cards?
Just catch up?
It's just been a lot of just fixing.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Mr. Lodi expressed concern that people were speeding down by his house going either the museum or around the corner or whatever. So I told him that I would bring it up to the council to see, I don't know.
Cause that's still 20 miles an hour right there, isn't it?
Do we have a sign down there, don't we?
I don't think so.
Maybe we
Doesn't
just
he
need
have
to
one
put a
in his
sign
yard?
out.
If we put a sign, they're gonna go faster, cause they're not going 20, I can tell you that.
Right, but if we don't have the sign there to begin with, I mean,
Doesn't our ordinances say that unless it's posted, it's 20?
No, 25 are the other streets unless it's posted. Main Street is 20.
The thing is, he complains about dust. It's a dirt road. I mean,
Well, I told him I'd bring it up, but he wanted it 15 miles an hour.
You can't.
well,
I don't think
why
that'll
don't we-
happen.
I mean, since it's already Main Street, all the way down to there, right?
well, yeah,
We can
No, because he's talking where it connects
go on east and west.
the whole one.
The corner there on the rodeo or the cul-de-sac?
So if you take a left after Donnie's house.
Oh, going by Naz's?
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
is there a lot of,
He
there's
said
probably
they
a
fly
lot of
around that
traffic.
corner and throw gravel and dust and they're
There's that.
speeding and.
we need to probably we need to have a sign there, I mean, for starters.
We're not going more than 20, like you said. Huh.
So if you want a sign, we should probably put 2, 1 on each end.
I don't know.
And we got anything laying in the piles up there?
I'll have to look.
I mean, if we had something, that'd be great. I mean, I don't think, but something to post and then we can go from there because
Yeah.
enforcement would come under law enforcement.
I guarantee you they're not speeding, like you said. It's the name of it.
It's a short run, but they're spinning, they're around the corner there.
I think even going 5 miles an hour, you're gonna raise dust.
Yep. So 25, is that correct?
20,
Could we put
20
20?
is Main Street.
right.
can we-
Oh, those side streets.
I don't know what the
I don't know, I
law
mean,
is.
Some of those streets down there, you can't drive 25.
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, that's so short.
If you put a speed limit sign, you're gonna increase the speed.
But what if we put a sign, cause I don't think there's anything past the Sunflower, a sign there. What if we put one at 20 right there, if we have one of those? Then, I mean, they'd probably automatically think whoever's driving through there, they need to go 20.
They don't even think when they see these signs flashing at them.
Oh yeah, I slow down all the time.
No, but I mean, there is a lot of people that don't.
Well, some people just don't even, they're not paying
It's just like I
attention.
sat in Rygate the other day and had
Don't look
lunch.
at me.
And watching them semis whip right by that cafe.
I have noticed a big amount of people slowing down
I
there.
have too.
Well, I just tell everybody they're recorded, they record your,
Because that traffic's going by right
But
out my
I think-
bedroom window.
They do
Because
pop up on your radar, I do
If
know
we have
that.
an extra, if we,
Before the miles.
if we have an extra 20-mile-an-hour sign, and if we post it on the other side of the Sunflower where that nice sidewalk is, I mean, one could only think that the rest of it's 20,
Yeah,
you know? And then if we still have an issue, we can go back and revisit the east and west. But I think that's a good
We're
start,
gonna get away from his issue is paving it.
you know,
And
that,
then water it 3 times a day so the dust isn't.
I know. But, I mean, if we at least could have an extra, if we had an extra one laying around, I don't see why it wouldn't hurt.
We can stick one up.
So
I
you
mean-
want it over there by the Sunflower.
Or, you know, across the road where the new sidewalk is going that way, I mean, cause there's, what, Truesdale on the corner and then Jamie and then him, you know, somewhere. Yeah, I think that, what do you guys think? I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean, if you got one, I would.
psychologically, I mean, one would think, oh, the rest of the town's 20 miles an hour and,
We won't tell them any different.
yeah, I mean,
I just don't see a lot of traffic. I mean,
It's-
I live right there, I don't know. maybe-
It's after you go to bed, Roger.
and, yeah, it's not ours. Mine don't drive yet. And it's not me because I don't.
Okay.
His bike, his trike don't pedal that fast.
And, pool managers have requested some new cameras that's got, video saving capability instead of just live feed.
That makes sense.
If anybody knows anybody in Billings or somebody that can put these cameras up, then
Why don't we, kinda go neck and neck with, the library, get somebody and do both of them.
Yeah, cause we need, what,
They do have video on their cameras.
right,
But
but
it's
saving.
not recorded.
they can't record anything.
You can't record it.
They can't save it, it's not saved anywhere, it's just live, all
It's
the
just
time.
live, so you gotta catch it in the act.
No, we.
You can't rewind them,
Huh?
you can't rewind them
The
to
pool.
look later.
Well, we did it before when we was looking for something, didn't we, Paul?
Well, we couldn't
Remember when we-
recently.
Isn't that system new, like within the
No.
last few years, or is that old?
No, it's probably, I would say, like 5.
I think it's just probably 5 years.
Which is,
But yeah, it's
I mean,
outdated, 5 months ago, it's
you
outdated,
put them up,
yeah,
after you get them up, they're outdated.
yeah.
They're very basic, really cheap camera systems now.
When I did check with the bank to find out who does their camera work and stuff, and Kelly was not impressed with them. She said, don't bother. She said, I'll get their number, but don't bother calling them, because their cameras aren't very good and they're,
Lodi left me the number that he sold his business to. I'd have to look it up and see.
okay.
But, I could check and see, it's a company I think out of Billings.
Kelly thought their outfit down at the bank was from Bowlesby, but she wasn't sure, so.
Triangle does it too. They'll put cameras in for you, but they're kind of spendy.
Oh, they have some different brands.
But maybe we can get a 2-for-1, or
I think we do
having
both.
2, right? the pool.
That way a person comes to town and does 2 projects and gone instead of paying twice to come to Harlowton.
Yeah. It's a good idea.
Yeah, and they probably got to come on average, big campers.
But I don't really, Lori's not hired, Dan that time is, he just happened to be doing it around town.
Yeah.
We already bought the cameras and he just installed them for us.
Okay. Yeah, if you know anybody, just let us know and we'll get a hold of them and see what.
Well, you can buy a ring but you gotta pay $100 a year and that records them, everything for you. But they, like I said, there's so many cameras out there nowadays.
Yeah. It's crazy the amount of stuff that's out there. Okay, I did catch a gentleman down at the, where those pens are at the park, or across the road from the park, and that hydrant filling up a 500-gallon water tank.
He came in and gave us $100.
What's that?
He came in and gave us $100.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
After he filled?
yeah.
Did somebody have a conversation with him before? I was gonna say, next time, we can direct him up to the top of the hill, because that's where we have a fill station, right?
Yeah, he said that they filled there before when they were at rodeo here, so.
What if we,
What he did is he saw the sign at the park, $5 for the RVs. He thought he could get it for $5.
but what if we put a sign there
Yeah.
and have it locked and say,
Well, you
Go to-
can't lock it. Well, the city can do anything you want. I wish you would lock it. But the rodeo committee, that's why they paid to put that water line in. For that.
But they don't pay for
Purpose.
the water.
Correct.
But if they unlock it during events,
well, there's gotta be a curb stop somewhere for that.
There is. But what I'm saying, that's why I'm saying let's bring this up for the next meeting, because this is just complete chaos.
Well, there should be a sign there directing, and maybe we should have one in the park too, directing to city office for bulk fuel, or filling water, you know?
Yeah, because we have people that come in that know they're gonna come fill up on the weekend. We give them a receipt, they're super honest about it, they know where to go fill up.
Right.
We write on it, like sign
We
it.
sign it, initial it.
We should have something down there at the park.
So we
directing
have
them.
a bulk water sign up at the shop, we could just duplicate it.
Yeah, and just maybe put it down there on the board.
They put the address for the,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, just duplicate it and stick it on there.
Okay.
And I know that we, as a council, had increased that bulk water rate to 20 cents a gallon instead of 10. But we can't find the minutes that state it, so. We're gonna have to visit that, on the next meeting. That bulk water
How long
rate
ago?
up.
it's within
Wasn't
the
that long
last
ago?
year, I think.
It
I
didn't
I
seem
way
like
up to 10 cents before I resigned.
it was still at 10 cents.
And when was that?
I resigned, end of May 2023.
Jack, did you say we upped it 10 cents or
We
upped
upped
it
it
to?
to 10 cents at that
Okay,
point.
and then we upped it to 20, right?
Well, that's what I thought, but
It wasn't that long ago that we upped it.
We can also visit about upping it because we're now on this new water,
Yep.
you know.
Oh, yeah.
We
Well,
can,
see, that's
I think
what
that's
thought
why
was
we upped it,
before we
Ken.
got the water turned on, we had discussed it and decided to go to 20 cents.
well, if we can't find the minutes, let's have a discussion on it.
Yeah.
I think,
Put it
next
on the
meeting,
agenda.
because now we are, if it ain't metered, it's gotta show somewhere, because it is metered to come in,
Right.
so.
Okay, Brent, what do you got for us?
All right, can you hear me?
Yep.
Good, good. The audio from you guys to me was cutting in and out. I'll try to be real brief. I do have a draft of the site title opinion for the phase 6 of the Central Montana project. I do have an email to Joel Pitcher. I do have one or two questions and want to make sure I've got the final draft correct. The other thing I wanted to mention is that you do have an ordinance right at the end of your ordinances online that talks about leases. I'm not sure that's a great ordinance, but when you start to do a lease, such as with the food bank, I can get with the mayor and we can kind of go over that ordinance a little bit. And while we're speaking of ordinances, I tried to get online
to start working on a couple of suggested amendments to your decay ordinance as well as the dog ordinance. And none of the ordinances are online except for 4 specific ones. And so I'm kind of wondering what happened to them. So I'll try to get with Sarah tomorrow and see what's happened online with that. Usually in the past, I've been able to access the online version pretty quickly. And then finally, I do have 2 jury trials on August 7th and August 15th. They're criminal misdemeanors. One is an appeal from city court to district court. That's going to be held on August 7th. We have to do the whole trial over again. Won't go into an explanation of why, but in Montana, if you appeal from a court that is not a court of record on misdemeanors, you can have a brand new second trial in district court, and tried to resolve that, but it involves a current inmate at the jail that's charged with the offense of criminal mischief, and apparently he is intent on having a second trial. He was convicted the first time in city court. And then I do have an August 15th misdemeanor trial before Judge Crow in city court. And then also, I was just going to recommend that once I've been able to review the lease ordinance with the mayor and Sarah, I could certainly draft a lease if you folks want concerning the food bank, and we could even have a template for a draft. I did see the one on the agenda, and that's a good start, but I do think for the city's protection, you need to have some things like liability insurance, indemnification, where both parties indemnify each other for their own negligence, that sort of thing. So in any event, that's all I have, Mayor, and hopefully you heard everything.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. Okay, we don't have everybody from the sheriff's office, so now, is there any public comment on items that is not on the agenda?
I just want to add to the gentleman that just spoke here, as far as like a person for me getting on the website for the city, to having any kind of information when it comes to ordinance or zoning law, it's the worst. And for folks that want to find the details of what they can and can't do with their property or whatever ordinance, it's not very well explained, there's not much there. So if you were able to, as a council, if you're going to have it on the web, unless you've got written publications that we can come and get, but if you don't do it, have it detailed on the web.
Okay.
But I know.
I'm tired of it, that's what I said.
Yeah.
I know when I was on prior, it was never put on the web prior, because some of the 4 ordinances that Brent talked about were the last ones that we worked on, that Laura put out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we were trying to get enough of them in condition so we could send them off to that company that Brent's talking about.
Yeah.
For about $10,000 to have them all reworked.
Right.
And they could tell us whether there's problems or issues with them, and then they would be dumped right on the internet at that time.
And we're in the process of
We're
getting
in the
that.
process.
That's what that's at.
But these ordinances, a lot of ordinances were on there, and Brent's right, I just went to the website, there's only like 5 on there now. So between when I got on, they all disappeared.
Yeah.
Because I was using it.
That could have been that outfit that's doing the drop line on for them.
But have they got the documents to work on?
Yeah.
I know there's
Yeah.
hard copy there in the office.
And one other public comment is, I'd asked 5 months ago about Dempster's lease, not trying to boot Danny out, but that is a city leased property, and I want to know what's happened with that.
Right, so we discussed that at that time, and we thought as council it was not in the city limits, but tonight, apparently it is in the city limits. So, and Brent's gonna talk about that lease, so we'll know that ordinance more then.
But
Or that
my question,
limit, I guess, that city limit, so when, that's what we were just talking about earlier.
But I think Dan's caught up on his lease now, I think, or
No.
he's still here.
let's back up. The whole thing that, I've talked to 2 different public members in the last 2 years who were looking for a place to lease for just that kind of thing, that kind of business. And that wasn't available because it's obviously leased to Dan, who has not used it in how many years, and his payments, it's not my business whether they were up or they weren't. But in your guys' looking, I was told that he wasn't up on paying, didn't have a signed lease, and he's not using it for the intended purpose, and hasn't for years. So why isn't it available to somebody else to utilize it for that intended purpose? I'm not that person. Those people may or may not still be, but the city owns a property, he owns the building. You can force him to clean up that property. Do you see where I'm getting at? I mean, somebody could buy the property from him or buy the building so that they could do exactly what he used to do, instead of just leaving it what it is now.
Julie, we talked to Brent about it, and what Brent and I and Paul decided is that we would have a meeting with Dan and go through everything, because he's saying he paid this day. We only have a record of him paying one day, that we would all sit down and go through it together, or him and I or whoever go through it together. I've reached out to him 5 times probably, and he says he'll come in, and he hasn't been in. So that's where I don't know what we would do now after that.
Is there anything in the lease that says it has to be an active business?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't necessarily matter the payment. I mean, it does.
Well,
It's clearly an active business, has been for a long time.
well, what makes it an active business? If he pulls a vehicle down there and
Yeah.
he's working on it on the side, you know, at night, we don't know where he works during the day.
Yeah, in good
But-
faith.
I know.
I'll send you guys the information I have on it, and you guys can,
But we need to get more like a business. If you don't pay your bill, we gotta do something. I mean, you can't wait a year, 2 years, get a payment. I mean, we're pretty lax on that.
Yeah, we
I
are.
have to pay my taxes that way.
well, Charlie, it's just been so many people in and out here. He says
Oh,
he
I know,
paid,
I
and
know.
then did anybody write it down?
But I mean, this has been going on for years.
But he should have a bank statement and stuff
Cancel
too,
check.
but.
That's all he needs.
I don't know if Dan writes checks, does he? I think
He
does.
does.
Bank statements would work too if you had it showing.
And also, anytime you wanna come in, I would be glad to go copy any ordinance that you want. She's currently working on our website. It hasn't been touched in 6 months or longer.
Right, and I don't know, I understand that we're going through adjustments and new stuff. And the other part would be for me, as a leaser, is to actually know what the zoning laws are, what we can and can't do, where we're at. And we don't even know really where the boundaries are at. Like any places don't have a plat that says this is where your property is, this is what you can't do. So if there's any help in that regard, would assist, would help me, whether it's on the web or in hard copy. It's just a thought as a.
Thank you.
That map on
I
the
say we're
wall,
open for the public, non-agenda items.
all the overlap.
We're open for that? Okay, number 1, I won't be here at the next meeting.
Okay.
Will not be able to be here next time, the 13th.
I do know at one time that A.J. Lorenzen was trying to find property boundaries. He went with a metal detector and a lot of them, and they could not even.
Very, very few places are actually surveyed in town. Ian told me one time, said if we had the whole city surveyed, half of the houses would not have land.
Legally, I own E Avenue.
Well, my parents' property they moved in 1998, and their property's been surveyed 3 times, and every time the property boundaries change.
Yeah, see, that's an issue, and that's something that needs to be addressed, actually.
It's been like that for a long time now. I lived in a rental over there, and technically the garage was on our rental property, but somebody else owned it or used it at their fire truck park there.
that are on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was on A Avenue and it was the only one with a garage and it says it can't, if you look at the property and you read everything on the property, like, it
Yeah.
says it went with that property, but somebody else used it and they had their fire truck parked there.
the original plat of Harlowton.
And you don't fight with
Wait
her.
a minute.
is at an angle.
Are we still on items for next meeting? Yeah, I'd like to discuss the next meeting on how our ordinance complaints come in.
Oh, I'm sorry, we're still on public comment.
Oh,
Did
okay.
we move?
Yeah, I didn't know why I asked.
Yeah, no, we're on, items for the next meeting.
Oh, okay, yeah, I have you down for, be on the agenda.
Okay.
A resolution for the library, a lease, talk about the lease, MMIA about the pool. Bob's gonna give us some money numbers for the blockage.
He wants to know how our ordinance complaints come in.
I'm not gonna give you numbers. I need to know what my budget is.
What your budget is,
before I
okay.
can even get a bid.
That's what you wanna know.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't wanna know if it's on there, Sarah.
Yep, it's gonna be on the next one.
Okay.
You got some stuff on the agenda for next one. Jeff and Shauna, follow up
Thanks,
with
Julie.
commissioners, thanks Julie.
Thank you.
Follow up with the commissioners on the graves. The sidewalk repair.
I won't be at the next meeting, but at some point I would like to pick up the rail trail. I know it's kind of stalled right now, but since Ron is gone, I'd kind of like to take the lead on that and see.
We tried to take that over for the depot to run it. We bought we're the ones that got Steve Stewart to put the coating on it. We're the ones that bought the
Okay.
benches and all that stuff, but she just won't release it. We was just gonna add it onto the depot and take care of the whole thing. But,
The rail trail?
But the rail trail goes further than that,
Yeah.
isn't that's with the wetlands and all
That's
that
the
stuff?
wetlands.
I'm
Yeah.
interested in the roundhouse and the,
Wetlands.
Yeah.
That.
big cleanup project.
The clean, yeah, all
What
that.
Ron Tide was
so
doing.
we tried to get it so we could take care of the whole thing, but
But a council member
Yeah.
sits on that.
Anyways, yeah, so I won't be here on the 13th, but on the next meeting, I'd like to.
And you're not gonna be here? How many do we have to have for quorum?
Four. Frank will be back.
Okay.
Before after meeting.
So it's on us.
So as, also at the next meeting, we're gonna
All sorts of
talk about, bulk water, raising up the bulk water.
That's on there too?
Yep.
Okay.
And you got the one about how our ordinance complaints come in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny's-
Okay.
I got something to say. I went to Missoula last week to a funeral. And it was a guy that's gonna donate a bunch of stuff to the depot. It could be $1 million worth of stuff, or it could be $2 million worth of stuff. This guy was a hoarder, but he was a organized hoarder. And we went through his house.
That worked.
An organized order.
And it's just ungodly amount of stuff he's got in there. It's just years and years and years of, I mean, he was helping the force
I'm now Rob Elwood.
on culverts and stuff on the railroad and all that stuff. And a lot of that stuff will go to the state into their files.
Yeah, that's
stuff
who I
like
am,
that.
Jim Kalatowski.
This thing between $6 and $8 million, and we could have everything in ours if we wanted it, but we don't have the room.
Yes.
We're gonna have to build on somehow or something, but it's gonna bring a lot of people to Harlow to look at this information.
Oh, that's who Jack is.
I don't know if you ever,
Ron Tide.
but
Is that who you took
it's
over
ungodly
for?
amount of stuff.
You could hang some in
I'm
here.
supposed to go pick up at least 200 boxes.
At least 200.
What is it mostly? Charlie, is it artifacts or pictures? or-
Artifacts and stuff like that, and pictures and books and stuff. He had 300,000 slides of just different places. And it's gonna help Harlow. I mean, he'll come up and he'll put a thing in the paper about when this is all said and done.
Sure.
Right now, he's doing the state. He was really, like I said, he was an organized worker, but he didn't have a will.
Oh, that
So
worked.
all this stuff's gotta go through the state before, he's got one brother that it'll go to, but being no will, everything's gotta be,
Probate or whatever they call it, yeah. Okay, everybody get a chance to read over the claims.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes,
Wait. You can say
yes. I just said yes, I got a chance to read over the claims.
just a couple quick questions. And I guess it's because of it, evidently the change between when I left and now. I noticed that there's a lot of expenses on there, that the library's expense, which
It's
is
just-
associated, it's associated with their budget. And all this is just a formality, is that right, on our side to get it paid? Okay.
We
Cause it
we
used
don't
to
pay
be
it.
a
They
lump
have
It used to be all by
MasterCard.
itself.
Yeah,
and
it used to be all by
because
itself.
The library board, had already authorized the budget, we'd authorized the budget for them.
Cause they get a detailed report of what each
Yeah, as
item is.
part of their MOU now, we have to do all that,
Okay.
but they still, it comes out of all their funds. She pays it, Tina's really great about keeping everything in line. Just have to have it out
I
for,
was just checking to make sure that.
especially auditing, that's a huge one.
Okay, cause it must have just changed.
As far as I know it did, it changed before I got here, but yeah.
Anyway, that's all I want to be sure of. And the last portion of that, it says, something on hold, claims on hold. Now, those are not, you're not going to be paying those, but those are just a recording or so we know that those are out there.
Well, it would be like a draw possibly. I'd have to look and see what they are.
Are you talking about the June ones?
Well, there's some older ones out there on the draw going back to 2019, 2022, and some of the other dates.
I can look. I can
got a
look and
question
tell
on
you what they
claims.
are.
Pardon?
I can look and tell you what they are if you remind me.
Yeah, the first portion is about $27,000, and you add the others to it's another 30,000, 34,000.
Okay, I'd have to look.
So I was just curious as to why those are listed there. Is it just for our benefit to know that they're possible payments, even
They
though
could
they're
be,
old?
right, they could be something we haven't paid, maybe like I said, because of a draw.
They just said they were set on hold. And then some of the older bills, going back to April and May, again, is that because we missed them back at that time and these are, or are these duplicate payments? that
Or-
were already paid
Or they
prior?
might be
For
just bills
And
now?
that's what I'm talking about on those, that's on the current section of the bills, 27,000.
So, we would pay an April bill right now because we're ending out the fiscal year. And that bill in April might not be due until September, but we're gonna close out our fiscal year, so we're just gonna go ahead and pay it, get it done for our fiscal year. It's not necessarily due,
Some
but
of
we
those
need to.
like UPS or USPS charges, it goes back to April, are those?
Those would be ones that that weren't put in the computer. When Jody got here, we had to go and put them all in. Some of those are. I'd have to see specifically what you're talking
The question I
about.
would have on is why why they weren't put in the computer prior.
Right, that would have to be a question for a previous employee that worked here. I don't know why they wouldn't have.
Okay,
Yeah.
again, it was just trying to make sure that we're not duplicate paying or whatever on those older ones.
And any questions you have, bring them in and we can go look them up and whatever.
I do have a couple of questions on the claims. So, I looked underneath the garbage, and I see we got 4 different garbage services we're paying for. So the city should just be paying for one. I mean, really?
Garbage bins?
Well, is that what it is? It's separation of bins? Like the pool has its own?
Yeah.
and
We
then-
always have
Yeah.
Park has
Okay,
one.
yeah,
Pool has
okay.
one.
And
See,
then,
when the pool's running, we
They go away in the
activate it,
winter.
and when it's done, I just put the
Yeah.
garbage can and we shut it off.
I was just curious, because I just noticed between the city shop and the city pool, it's, darn near $8 difference, but, is it the same size of can, or is it a bin, or what is it?
Ours is just.
Is it a dumpster? Just a
No,
regular
they're
blue
bins.
can?
They're just blue bins.
Okay. But why is there a difference between the pool and the city shop? You know what I mean? Like, why is it less? I mean, you would think, if you look
Are
on
they
there,
the
they
same
pay,
size?
city shop,
Yeah,
they,
it might be different.
I was gonna say probably.
Might be the size.
In the shop, we have 4 cans.
we only paid $36 for 4 cans, and then at
And
the
there's-
pool, they paid
there's
44.
something that's funky in there.
I'm not saying it's on our end.
No, I'm just saying, when Kathy Nolan was here, they worked out some kind of a deal. They give you a discount at the shop because you have Main Street. It was
I can't remember the details.
Don't ask too many questions, or they'll probably up the price.
Right, or
Yeah.
maybe not. And
That
then
$44
the other
is
one
probably
is-
for the whole season, isn't it?
is, you know, I see you got Granger toilet paper.
That's for the
It's for
park.
the
Is
park.
that for the park? But did the county ever offer doing an
So
offset
Sarah
cost?
just talked to me about that today. She's on it.
Okay, cause it's kind of like, you know, it's on their side of that fence, you know, the rodeo grounds, and they're claiming
And
and.
Jeff wanted the list.
Yeah.
That's when clerks were leaving.
Okay, no,
Yep.
no, fair enough, I mean, you gotta ask.
Yep.
I like it.
Do we get back pay?
Are you open to a motion to pay the claims?
A second.
So moved. Yeah.
Okay, there's been a motion made and seconded to go ahead and pay the claims. All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. And we are adjourned.
Thank you guys.
Good job, team.
Good one.
Thank you guys so much for changing the agenda.
Do you like the way the new agenda is?
Yes.
Did you notice any extra chatter? Kind of felt like it kept the chatter to a minimum.
Once, and then you took care of it. You guys are good.
Yeah,
I think when we bought something.
he is talking, and then it was like, he left, and we go, us.
Yeah, I don't know if
We
we're
did.
supposed to.
Oh, yeah.
It says
And then
in
when I
the
put it in the
ball.
claims, I take it out of your
That
budget, of the Black Mountain
Yeah, it
list.
says right down here, it's to him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't know if we handed them all back into you or what.
But it's past, it's almost
I
my
do that.
bedtime.
Yeah,
Sure do.
Of course,
we'll get them
I've
back.
been in the mountains mostly
Yeah.
since the 5th of July, other than when we went to Boulder for Sean's
Also, I
birthday.
just have to remember
So
to
we
remind
just
me
kind
of
of
stuff
go to
because
bed,
my
get
brain
up whenever we want.
Next up, we slide the tables.